Hi everybody, it's Chris and welcome back to another video. Now, anybody that watches this channel regularly will know I absolutely love a 45. I don't think though they receive the love they truly deserve, because for me they are little slices of history. They're bits of nostalgia that take me back to certain times in my life, because it's all about the song and the time that that song was actually released. Now, I started to buy 45s around about 74, 75. As I was finishing primary school, going into secondary school, and lots of the 45s I've got come from that kind of mid-late 70s era. And one of the things I loved about it is you'd come home and you'd play the song and you'd play it again and again and really get to know that one song, but then you'd flip it over and listen to the B-side. Now, sometimes that B-side it's a bit of a lottery. Sometimes it was an absolute howler, and sometimes it was absolutely brilliant, sometimes even better than the A-side. And what I've got here is 20 of my favourite B-sides, loosely in a rank order, loosely under the umbrella of punk, new wave, pub rock, post-punk. So here's my 20. Tell me what you think in the comments below. What are your favourites? So at number 20, I've gone with the B-side of Simon Templar by Splodgenus Abounds. Now, although that was the kind of A-side, they didn't play that on the radio. They played 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps, please. A really good, fun song from Splodgenus Abounds. At number 19, we've got a band who, this might be controversial, I'm sure we'll get some kind of reaction possibly. I find this band a bit overrated. The band of The Clash. Now, I liked their first album and I loved the single White Riot, and I also really loved this single as well. This is Complete Control. Non-album track, which also had a non-album track on the B-side, City of the Dead, which is really good too. Not as good as the A, but a really good B-side, which made that into a tremendous 45. So that's The Clash, B-side of Complete Control, City of the Dead, good stuff. At number 18, we've got a band who created their music amongst the troubles of Northern Ireland, and lots of their songs reflected that time in the subject matter. The band, of course, is Stiff Little Fingers, Belfast band. This is the single Suspect Device on Rough Trade Records. The B-side of this, which I think is on the album, is called Wasted Life. It's absolutely brilliant single. Fantastic song. What a brilliant B-side that is. So Wasted Life on the B-side of Suspect Device. At number 17, I remember seeing this band play the A-side on Top of the Pops, and I went out the next day and bought it. This is the copy. And I played it to death, but I also absolutely love the energy of the B-side. The single is In the City by The Jam, and the B-side is Taking My Love. I've always loved that song from their first album. You know, I'm sure the Jam have done better B-sides. I'm sure they have, but I love that. And this is my favourites as opposed to maybe the best. So there we are. In the City, B-side, Taking My Love, The Jam. Great stuff. At number 16, we've got Staring at the Rude Boys by The Ruts. And the B-side of this is the reggae-tinged song called Love in Vain, written by Malcolm Owen. It's a song about the troubles that he faced with drug addiction, you know, which ultimately claimed his life. The lyrics are poignant. It's a great song, really fantastic B-side. So that's Love in Vain by The Ruts. At number 15, we've got the post-punk classic Shot by Both Sides by Magazine, but My Mind Ain't So Open on the B-side is also really good, much punkier than the A-side. Tremendous single, My Mind Ain't So Open, Magazine. At number 14, this is a post-punk classic, not an album track. This is Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. These Days on the B-side is a really, really good post-punk song too. So that's at number 14. At 13, this was I didn't get this at the time actually, and I remember hearing it and not liking it, but I've liked it since. The band of the B-52s, the single is Rock Lobster. And the B-side of this is 52 Girls, which I think is much better than the A-side. So there we are, that's my number 13, and that's B-52s. The B-side of Rock Lobster, 52 Girls. At number 12, the classic Gary Gilmore's Eyes by The Adverts, British punk band. The B-side is a tremendous song, Bored Teenagers. What a brilliant song that is. Great single. At number 11, I think this is from 1980, I'm not sure how you categorise this band, actually. They were good fun, and the A-side is Tom Hark by the Piranhas. And there are two songs on the B-side, Boyfriend and Getting Beaten Up, which I think is brilliant. You know, we all went down the Esplanade where the lager tastes like lemonade. Just fantastic stuff from the Piranhas. Getting Beaten Up. At number 10, we've got a band who brought out 4 main singles, all of which had non-album B-sides, and all of which were good tracks. I'm talking about the Sex Pistols. So if I take these in chronological order, Anarchy in the UK had I Wanna Be Me on the B-side, which is a great track. Did You Know Wrong was the B-side of God Save the Queen, another great song. Pretty Vacant had a Stooges cover, No Fun, 6.5 minutes of raucous music from the Pistols on the B-side of Pretty Vacant. And we had Satellite on the B-side of Holidays in the Sun, which out of those 4 probably is my favourite one, but it's not the one I'm going to choose. The one I'm going to choose is the B-side of a single that came out, a kind of a spin-off from the Pistols, that came out in 78, No One Is Innocent. And the B-side is My Way by Sid Vicious. Now, one of the things I've always noted about My Way when it's been done by other people is that generally it follows loosely the kind of original. This one really doesn't. It's like a punky version of it. And I think it's one of the only versions that was truly done My Way. And I love it for it. So that's the Sex Pistols, or Sid Vicious, My Way, and that was at number 10. At number 9, got the B-side of this single. This is X-Ray Specs and the Day the World Turned Dayglow. Nice little single, but the B-side is I Am a Poser, which is a tremendous song, and for me, far better than the A-side. So X-Ray Specs, I Am a Poser. At number 8, he produced a number of brilliant singles on Stiff Records, and this is no exception. This is What a Waste by Ian Dury. But for me, the B-side is even better. Wake Up and Make Love to Me. Absolutely brilliant. Just full of kind of the usual Ian Dury, fantastic lyrics. Brilliant song. And what a 45 that is. So What a Waste, backed with Wake Up and Make Love with Me. Fantastic stuff from Ian Dury. At number 8. At number 7, we've got a single that I played to death in 77. And from memory, this is probably one of the first punk singles I ever bought. It was Swallow My Pride by the Ramones. I bought that in the summer of 77. The B-side has got 2 songs on it. One is Let's Dance, the Chris Montez song, and the other one is Pinhead, from where the Gabba Gabba Hey kind of lyric comes from. But Swallow My Pride and the B-side Pinhead, great stuff. At number 6, we've got a single. I don't know where this sits in their discography. It could be in their sort of first 5 singles possibly. The single is I Don't Mind. The band is the Buzzcocks, but the B-side was a track called Autonomy, which is quite rocky for the Buzzcocks, and I think it is probably one of my favourite Buzzcocks songs. It's absolutely brilliant, and far better, for me anyway, far better than the A-side. So that's Autonomy by the Buzzcocks. I think that's 1978. At number 5, so we're into the top 5, my top 5 favourite B-sides. Now, there's a punk band called The Boys, which I'm sure many of you know of, a great band. They had an alter ego, and that was the Yobs. And they produced a Christmas single, a couple actually, but this is the first one, Run, Rudolph, Run. And on the B-side is a song called The Worms Song, you know, the campfire song. Nobody likes me, everybody hates me just because I eat worms. I remember hearing this on John Peel, and it's only about a minute or so long. It starts slowly, and then the band kick in and they play this kind of punky version of it. It's absolutely sublime. Brilliant stuff from the Yobs. The Worms Song. Nobody likes me, everybody hates me just because I eat worms. At number 4, one of my favourite 45s from 77 and from the whole punk genre is This Perfect Day by Australian band The Saints. Fantastic single. Absolutely brilliant. I remember playing that to death. I am surprised there are any grooves left on the A-side of that. But also, I played the B-side to death as well, Lies. Tremendous song. What a brilliant 45 that is. At number 3, we've got a band that were famous for a couple of singles, but the most famous one was Sounds of the Suburbs. The band is The Members, and this is their reggae tinge song on Virgin Records called Offshore Banking Business. The B-side of that is Solitary Confinement. Now, they bought that single out. It was their first single that came out on Stiff Records. It's wonderful, it's melodic, it's lyrically brilliant, it's funny, it's good storytelling kind of song. Wonderful, fantastic song. That's The Members, and that's at number 3, Solitary Confinement. At number 2, we've got probably maybe my second favourite song by this band. Back in 1977, for some reason, John Peel didn't do his Festive 50, but he did a kind of a retrospective favourite songs from 77, and this particular band featured at position 1 and 3. So John Peel's favourite song from 77 was Dancing the Night Away by the Motors. His second favourite song was Uptown Top Ranking by Althea and Donna. His third favourite song was this particular song. It's the Motors, and the B-side of Be What You Gotta Be, You Beat the Hell Out of Me. I love that song. It's absolutely marvellous. What a tremendous B-side. So much better than the A-side. Fantastic song. I think that's a re-recorded version from the first one, but it's still brilliant. So that's at number 2. At number 1, and this is a little bit of a cheat because it's, I think, a double A-side, although people really only mainly talk about the A-side. During 77, the summer of 77, this was a massive kind of punk single. Because it was kind of edgy and different. It's the Stranglers and Peaches. But on the other side, the double A side, was a song, a non-album track called Go Buddy Go. Now that did receive some airplay because although there was a radio edit version of Peaches, it did receive some airplay, but obviously not as much as Peaches, and the band are probably better known for Peaches than they are for Go Buddy Go. But Go Buddy Go is just brilliant. A non-album track. Imagine if that had been on Rattus Norvegicus. How much better. And it's brilliant already, but how much better that album would have been. What a tremendous song that is. And that's my favourite B-side from the kind of punk new wave kind of genre. So, tell me what you think in the comments below. What are your favourites? What have I missed? What order would you put things in? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you do. If you don't, I hope I've earned your subscription. And thank you especially for the comments that you leave below. I love the interaction that I'm getting with these videos. So I'm sure I'll be back sometime soon with another one. Cheers, folks. Take care.